What is going on, guys? We're talking Mayans MC season 4, and we just saw episode 3. Spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. I mean, if you saw the thumbnail, you already know. I'm going to be talking about, that crazy event that I thought wasn't going to happen until either the end of the season or the middle of the season, but we already got it. And that's the fact that Marcus threw the VP, Vice President patch to Ezekiel, and he accepted. He accepted. He's done. Taza's done. So next man up. Out of all the crew members, Marcus Alvarez sees something in Easy. He sees that future, especially with him and Manny, being bros. We'll see how Angel is, because, that's his brother, and Angel's always got Easy's back. Now that Easy's VP, he has Angel as a brother who's been a club member for the longest time, but then he's becoming friends with Manny. The question is, I should say, is it too fast? Is it too soon for Ezekiel to be vice president? I mean, it just feels like we're 4 seasons in. It just feels like it wasn't not too long ago where he was the prospect, then he got patched in. We've seen the growth because of his intellect and how he brings something different to the club, to the charter. Santo Padre is the kind of like the experiment that Marcus was doing. Bishop, he took over this club because Marcus wanted him to. And I kind of really thought, I guess in the beginning of the series, I thought, Bishop was still going to be president and then maybe Easy becoming VP. But then there was questions like, are they going to really jump ahead and have him be El Presidente? Which I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't give him the president spot. This kind of lets me know that maybe if they get one more season or we get a couple more seasons or whatever, that he might jump to that president spot. But Marcus is in charge of everything. But the question is, is it too fast for Easy to become vice president? There's a lot of responsibility. He's already trying to prove himself with this mission of getting the accountant to El Paquero. This is a big deal because if he succeeds, there's friendly relationships with the Mayans and El Paquero. He's the new kind of pipeline. So, and then of course that goes awry. Right? So Easy as a character, does he deserve that vice president patch? And I think yes and no. Okay, I'm okay with it. I'm okay how it went down. It was fast, but I thought it was fine. I was okay with it. If he would have became president, or this season, I just don't see. I don't think it should happen. But him becoming vice president, that makes kind of sense, especially with the charter really kind of just dissolving around them with Bishop's lead and Bishop having a hard time to let go of just this grudge and just, everything that's happened to this club and him trying to become that one king and just it goes awry. And that's the other question too, is a lot of these ideas that has happened throughout the season, some worked, some have been good, some have been out of the box that Ezekiel should take full credit, but then he should take full credit when things don't work. Him trying to blow up Yuma, not succeeding, having a hesitation because there was a child in there, and which I absolutely don't blame him. It's kind of like when Tony Montana, right, in Scarface had to kill one of the governors or whatever, and he wasn't supposed to make that speech in that movie, but Tony couldn't do it because his kids were in the car with him and they had a bomb implanted in the car. And, he's like, I don't kill no kids, and it all goes awry. And the consequences is Tony dies at the end of that movie. With Easy, he pushed the button, except unbelievably, Concha and his son live through that explosion, but takes out a lot of the members of that charter. So things go awry. Maybe it's not, Easy is willing to do that particular moment. He's still, even though he hesitated, he was still willing to do what he needed to do, especially for his club. He was backing Bishop. He's pretty much backing Bishop 100%. This season's not going to be so much, especially now that he's VP and him and Bishop, the rift is huge. For Bishop to just kind of like lose power and then Easy to rise up in the ranks and now have this power, of course there's going to be jealousy. There's going to be a lot of definitely heat towards the friction between, if they even had a friendship. I think they had an understanding. I think they were cool with each other, but I think it was absolutely not like an absolute friendship that these two had, Bishop and Easy. Bishop did rely on some of that intellect and some of that out of the box thinking from Easy. He does know that Easy has that certain something. So I'm assuming that Bishop does know that Marcus does see that in him. Marcus has a keen eye. Marcus has made mistakes too. He had Bishop, who Bishop really didn't want to get Santo Padre. It was pretty much, he was sent to an outpost basically. Marcus has made mistakes, obviously, with Bishop, losing it kind of over there. And Marcus knowing his situation too, and not seeing really kind of in the future, like, is this a good idea to give my cuz I trust him, he's family, but is it really a good idea to have him, run this charter? Now he sees Easy, Ezekiel, and I think it's one, I see what Marcus is saying. I get when he says the future, but two, Easy still hasn't grown as much as you would like throughout these seasons as his character. He's absolutely the most level-headed guy in the charter, in the club. Obviously, when he just kind of like, he almost gets taken out by Manny, and yet he's willing to squash the beef, and he's willing to kind of listen to Manny and to really kind of get to know this guy, especially on this mission that they're doing. So he absolutely is level-headed. He does carry leadership material, especially when he's willing to do a lot of things throughout the season, right? Especially with the last season with the Yuma, but also with this season, with willing to. Conche knew it was Easy that did it, and he wanted him for blood. And Conche, I guess, didn't know that Angel was involved and Gilly was involved. Was it Gilly? I think it was Gilly. So, but he saw Easy. Easy was willing to sacrifice himself for everybody to walk. And Conche probably, in the back of his mind, you don't really see it, you don't really hear him say it, but he probably, this guy's got balls. He's probably thinking like, at least he's stepping up like a man. And saying, like I said, not even the third person, like the fourth person that came out to stand with Easy was Bishop. So leadership wise, Bishop, seeing a deterioration of his leadership and seeing the deterioration of who's kind of got his back, and going to see the rift between him and Easy. You see the leadership qualities that Ezekiel has. Obviously, his growth is still not there. The things that they're trying to do, or the things he does throughout the season, especially the last episode, it goes awry. Something happens. And yes, he could think on his feet, and we yet to see what he's going to do after Randall's death and El Paquero and that whole situation. He still has some room to grow. He still needs more experience, in my opinion. But I could also make a case that, he'll find experience along the way. Just leading, or just he's not president, but just gaining these responsibilities when the president, like when Marcus is going to tell him to do certain things, Marcus knows that this guy's a soldier and he's going to do what he has to do. When Jax was VP, right, and Clay Morrow, and that 1-2, and that chemistry, and that them knowing what the other person was pretty much thinking. Jax, of course, brings stuff, solutions, and like Jax's plans like worked flawlessly sometimes. Of course, Jax had a downfall as well, but as a VP, Jax was a good VP, but he did question Clay a lot. And Ezekiel, I don't think he's going to question Marcus a lot. I think he's going to roll with Marcus, especially since Marcus kind of knows who he definitely knew who killed, Miguel's mom and stuff, but he knows that Ezekiel at this point is all about the club, all about the patch, and I don't think Ezekiel's really going to question Marcus, which sometimes is not a good thing. Sometimes you need your second in command to question your ideals, because sometimes you have a better solution than they do. Of course, Ezekiel is going to do that and speak his ideas, and I'm pretty sure Marcus, the beauty about Marcus is he listens and he agrees most of the time. But you also need a president like Marcus to really step down on Ezekiel and say, like, this is not going to work. This is why, Primo, this is not going to work. So it's a director and producer kind of relationship when you get a president and then you get a VP together. I think because Ezekiel's so young and he's so, this is this is, even though he was doing things like this in the season where he was helping the club like this a lot more than any of the other guys. And he was kind of, and I would say that he has a keen eye as well. I mean, he didn't fully go to it when he knew Coco was something was with Coco at the moment. And he always asked him like, hey dude, are you all right? He asked him like 5 times and Coco got pissed at him. So he does watch his fellow club members, which you want to do. That's what Bishop wasn't doing. And then you got to, I guess you would have to speak about Taza, right? You can't really put Taza too much in this. I mean, he does, what I like about Taza and throughout the seasons is he isn't afraid to speak his mind. He isn't afraid to tell Bishop. He knows he has this role. He knows he needs to tell Bishop what he thinks about either ideas or if Bishop is right for trusting maybe Ezekiel or whatever. With Taza, though, the problem was we didn't get to see him fully as a VP like we kind of really wanted to, right? Because he had his own issues to do as well. And of course, the lies that he did to Bishop, not telling about Montez sooner, not telling about this whole thing with him and Paulo. So obviously, Taza wasn't a very good VP if you're putting all these into factor. So it's a new reign, it's a new regime, it's a new future. But how is this all going to go down if we do get another season? How long is Ezekiel going to be VP? Will he move up in rank very fast as well and become president for that charter? Do you guys think that this was just a too fast move and he needed to learn, especially since this mission has gone awry already that he's on after he just became VP? So I want to hear you guys' thoughts. This video is mostly to hear what you guys have to say about this whole situation and if this is going to work or not. And if you think this is where he needs to be throughout at least for a couple more seasons, or at least to the end of this season, maybe it's not a good idea if somehow he becomes president. Like the VP is the position he should be. Maybe towards the final of this series in general. So let me know what you guys thought. What do you thought about him becoming vice president already? Was Marcus in the right? Do you think Ezekiel is going to be a solid vice president? Do you think he's ready for it? Let me know, guys. Comment below. I'm Dan the Man, get down soon. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and like I said, let's the comments commence. All right, guys.